I got the Hakeem Jeffries one next. So this one, I tried to skip through. It wouldn't let me skip through it on my phone, so I'm hoping it'll let me do that on PC. Okay, it will. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do that on my phone. It didn't have the bar. It wouldn't let me skip forward or anything because I wanted to see if this just Hakeem Jeffries or is this the Democrats in general and he's just reposting it on his channel. Honestly, I don't know. Oh, it is only Hakeem Jeffries. Oh, uh-oh. I may have to stick around for this whole one. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, my any time that I post a video on Hakeem Jeffries, it does really well on my channel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, let me extend my heartfelt condolences, sympathies, and prayers to our former colleague, Liz Cheney, to Mrs. Cheney, and to the entire Cheney family.
Yeah, because he totally looks like he gives so much of a shit.
Dick Cheney. I also want to acknowledge today.
What if he didn't vote for Kamala? Do you think he'd still be extending those condolences?
The American people to go out and exercise your right to vote, exercise the franchise, exercise your voice.
Unless you're an evil,
wherever
big,
you
fat
may
Republican.
Be, all across the country. It's our country. It's our democracy. It's
Constitutional Republic.
Successful experiment in self-government.
And to the democracy for which it stands.
If the American people participate. Despite all of the efforts from the other side of the aisle to engage in misdirection, lies, voter suppression, and obstruction, the will of the American people is going to prevail today.
Oh, yeah? How
in America,
so?
The cost of living is way too high. Donald Trump and Republicans promised that they were going to lower costs on day one. But costs aren't going down. Costs are going up.
Here we go, this shit again.
The Trump tariffs are making life more expensive for everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year. Inflation.
Dude, most of us are everyday Americans, everyday middle-class, tax-paying Americans. I haven't seen a bump in really anything this whole year, to be honest with you. I really haven't. Yeah, things are a lot more expensive thanks to Biden. Things have gotten a lot more expensive since 2020. Well, 2021, really. I mean, things didn't really get all crazy, at least not where I live, in the year 2020. I mean, we obviously had supply chain shortages and everything, but the cost of shit went way high. Look, like, there was lumber, there was, like home construction shit that, like, yeah, there were those things that went up during 2020, but as far as I'm concerned, things didn't really skyrocket until 2021. But ever since Trump got back in, I haven't really noticed anything, and you know, I'm not throwing cover for Trump. I'm just saying, not in my situation.
On the way up. Grocery costs, way up. Housing costs, way up. Child care costs, way up. Electricity prices,
housing went way up under Biden. It hasn't moved since Trump.
People know it.
If anything, it's actually come down a little bit.
Donald Trump and Republicans have failed to make their life more affordable. And now in the midst of this 35-day Trump-Republican shutdown, Republicans refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which is going to result in tens of millions of Americans experiencing dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. In some cases,
they're going to get really pissed off at
everyday
Democrats.
Americans, working-class Americans, and middle-class
That's why he's
Americans
trying to get ahead of
are going to see their health insurance premiums increase by $1,000 or $2,000 per year.
Well, what about $20,000?
Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act.
Chuck Schumer keeps saying $20,000 a year.
Donald Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate have failed the American people, and the American people know it.
Yeah, and the Democrats are just so sweet, innocent angels. They've never done anything wrong. Everything's mostly peaceful with them.
To fix our broken healthcare system and to clean up corruption.
Whose broken healthcare system?
Oh yeah,
Obama's.
In the courts, and certainly as it relates to Donald Trump and his administration, the most corrupt administration in American history.
Okay, so give some examples. I mean, you're giving us a half a fucking hour. Give us a few examples as to how he's so damn corrupt.
A spending agreement that actually makes life better for the American people, that lowers costs for the American people, as opposed to the Trump economy where things are getting more expensive by the day.
Well, how are you going to pay for all this shit? All these fucking entitlement programs. How are you going to pay for the Obamacare subsidies? Isn't it true that you have to jack up everybody's taxes across the board in order to pay for it? Uh-huh.
And, of course, we have to decisively address the Republican health care crisis that is crushing
Yeah, because
the American
Obamacare,
people
it's totally Republicans.
all across the land.
Everybody believes that.
Questions?
Oh wow, that was it. Oh man, I thought he was going to drone on for. Oh yeah, that's right. He's in the House. He's not in the Senate. He's not used to like standing up at the podium filibustering, pissing his pants, talking for fucking 18 hours straight. We hear there's a little bit of a thawing. All right, hold on. So hold on, give me just a second. I'm going to try to boost this audio and see if I can try to get some of the questions hopefully without blowing out any eardrums. All right, where am I at? 6 decibels. Let's crank this up to about 12. All right, so crank that down. All right, let's see where this goes.
We don't know what that means and what that would look like. But considering the exercise that Democrats in the House went through in March, how much skepticism would there be from House Democrats on any sort of an agreement that would come over from the Senate?
We said from the very beginning that we will evaluate in good faith.
I wonder what kind of press is out here. Do you think that Hakeem Jeffries? Do you think he invited Newsmax, Fox News, One American News Network, some of the independent conservative networks, especially the online-based ones? Do you think any of them are in the room? No, I'm sure they're not. And I'm sure that he probably strictly gave them instructions to give me your questions before I answered them.
Any bipartisan agreement
Not saying he did. I'm just
from the Senate
just my opinion.
Reopens the government, makes life better for the American people, and decisively addresses the Republican health care crisis.
Dude, if I were in the room, I would say, isn't it true that Democrat votes are required in the Senate in order to reopen the government? Just try to keep it as simple as possible. There's probably even an easier way to frame that question.
Until we see details, we're not in position to do much more than that.
Are you more optimistic than you were at all, based on what you're hearing from next door?
We're in the middle of a 35-day government shutdown. Donald Trump is unlawfully withholding billions of dollars in SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans and 16 million children. There's nothing to be optimistic about.
Wait, did he just say he withheld it? Because Trump insisted that his lawyers talk to the judge or the federal judge and to get clarification as to what Trump can do with those funds, because Trump wanted to release those funds for SNAP benefits, and the judge said release it, and he said with pleasure, and he did. $5.25 billion. So I think Hakeem Jeffries just said that Trump refuses to do it, but it's already a done deal, asshole. That's why people are going to be getting their SNAP benefits almost till the end of this month.
To the cruelty and the pain that Donald Trump and Republicans continue to inflict on the American people. There's nothing to be optimistic about when it comes to the fact that Donald Trump shut the government down. They're forcing hundreds of...
Yeah, because Trump totally has the power to do that. He could just unilaterally just completely shut down the whole fucking government because, the president totally has the authority to do that.
Thousands of people to be out on furlough. Or
I'm telling you, man, like they absolutely count on Democrat voters to have just as low as an IQ as humanly possible. Absolute fucking goldfish memory, TikTok brain fucking dead. Absolutely brain dead goldfish memory. And it makes me wonder if in states like in California and in New York and Oregon, Washington, Illinois, like in the school system, the public school system, are they even teaching civics anymore? Do students have any idea, like anything about government in any way, shape, or form? I bet they're not teaching them a fucking thing because they're trying to make them politically retarded.
To work without pay. They refuse to address the healthcare crisis that Republicans have created. In a year where they enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, hospitals, nursing...
And what's really appalling and blood-boiling about how he keeps saying that the Republican healthcare crisis is that Democrats were the one that set the clock. They passed the Obamacare subsidies back in 2022. The Democrats did with no Republican support at all. And they put a 3-year clock on those subsidies, and those subsidies are due to run out at the end of November. They set the clock for the end of November of 2025. Republicans had nothing to do with it. And the Democrats, they have to 100% own the entire healthcare situation. But of course they're not, because this is all Democrats have been doing for the last 10 years. Everything that they're guilty of, they just blame the other side for.
Homes and community-based health centers are closing because of Republican policies all across America. The country is facing the possibility of a $536 billion cut to Medicare at the end of the year.
Because they rooted out a shitload of fraud, waste, and abuse. Thank God.
Republicans are refusing to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits because they would rather gut the health care.
Because Democrats want to give those benefits to people who are unwilling to work. Because that equals
Trump
more Democrat votes.
Republicans have done to this country. They've gone way too far, And the American people know it. And the results today are going to decisively reflect that fact.
Mr. Can I follow up on that? Just to put a finer point on that, you said in September, any agreement related to protecting the health care of the American people has to be ironclad and in legislation. It does not sound like whatever agreement comes out of the Senate will be in legislation. Will you accept something that is a handshake deal?
It's the same answer that I just gave.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. I know that the filibuster is a Senate mechanism, but President Trump has repeatedly, as recently as this morning, called for Senate Republicans to abolish the filibuster, pass the
Why is he asking him this fucking question? He's not in the Senate. Who cares?
A simple majority, and also a host of other Republican priorities. You've criticized him for not inviting the legislative leaders to the White House to negotiate. What are your thoughts about him continuing to call for the abolishment of the filibuster?
Oh my God, dude, these bullshit softball-ass fucking questions, man.
Indicate to you that he
Talk about a waste of a
has
question.
no interest in sitting down with not only his legislative leaders, but you.
I'm telling you, man, like he instructed all of them. Like,
Well,
you're not
Donald
going to ask
Trump
me any tough
has
questions.
taken a my way
You're
or
not
the
asking me
highway
anything
approach
about,
to
like,
his
if
presidency
Democrats are
from the very
required
beginning,
to
and he's
vote
used
to reopen the government.
Republicans simply bending the knee to him. Because these Republicans on Capitol Hill, on the House side and on the Senate side, they don't work for the American people. They work for Donald Trump. And so he's going to continue to make his position clear until they eventually cave, which is what they always do. Because
Well, he is right about that.
in this
Republicans do
Congress
cave
have
pretty
been
fucking
nothing
often.
more than a reckless rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda.
Which is probably a good argument as to
And Donald
why they
Trump
should
keeps
end the
making the
filibuster.
point
Maybe finally they'll start getting some
that
shit done.
Republicans have shut the government down, and they're the only ones that have the power to open it up. Republicans
Oh my God,
who
dude,
have
this
complete
fucking brain dead
control
lunacy.
of the House,
He's
the
pissing me
Senate,
off.
and the presidency. Republicans, who are the ones who passed the one big ugly bill without a single Democratic vote.
Yeah,
We strongly
they passed the
oppose
one
their one
ugly
big
bill that
They
equals
passed it on
government
their own
shutdown.
because they have complete control of government.
I mean, you can't even say this shit with that
And in
with a
that one
fucking
big
straight
ugly
face.
bill, they enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripping health
Yeah,
insurance
say it
away
again.
from 14 million Americans.
Wave
And
the
at
hands
same
around.
Time, they cut
That's how you know he's lying when he waves his hands
$186
around.
$billion from SNAP.
Oh, well, also
That's
when
the
he opens
largest
his
cut
mouth
to
too, obviously.
nutritional assistance in this country's history. They literally, in July, ripped food from the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans. And all of
Wait,
this was
he
done
said they
so that
literally did. I would love to see video footage of that. I would absolutely just love to see videos of Republicans running up to small children and snatching food out of their freaking hands and then shoving their hands in their mouths and yanking out what little food that they haven't swallowed yet.
Republicans could provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors in their one big ugly bill. And they did it on their own. My way or the highway in terms of jamming extreme Republican ideology down the throats of the American.
Well, not really. Some Democrats had to vote for it because I'm sure that required 60 votes in the Senate to pass. I mean, they got it passed in the Senate, so I'm sure there were some Democrats that must have gone along with it.
People. And so Donald Trump expects to see more of the same from the puppets that are Republicans in the House and the Senate.
You said that Republicans always cave. Leader Thune said that the votes aren't there to abolish the filibuster. Are you saying that ultimately Donald Trump's request or demand will win out?
If history is any indication, ultimately, compliant Republicans in the Senate are going to cave to the demands of their puppet master, Donald J. Trump.
So what does that mean? The government's going to stay shut down for the next 3 years?
This election cycle, Republicans have relied heavily on cultural issues, particularly trans issues. If they lose in Virginia and in New Jersey, what does that say to you about Republicans' reliance and dependence on communicating and messaging on trans issues against Democrats?
At this point, it's not a question of
Another
if Republicans are
softball.
going
Another
to lose.
pointless question.
I was in Virginia
I think
earlier
that's
today.
all
I
we're
was
gonna
in
get in
Jersey
this
over the
video.
weekend. I was in California a few weeks ago. They are going to lose.
There's going to be absolutely no pressure put
Because
on
the
him
American
at
people
all.
know that Republican policies have failed them. And it starts with the economy. That Republicans promised to lower
I mean,
the
to be
high
fair,
cost
it
of
only got
living.
9,000
Costs
views.
aren't going
I
down
mean,
in
nobody's
America.
watching this shit.
Costs are going up. The cost of living in this country is out of control. And Donald Trump has not done a damn thing to change it. And in the midst of this 35-day government shutdown, has spent multiple weekends on the golf course, holding let-them-eat-cake type of parties at his luxury
Halloween,
resort
man, looked like a lot of fun.
in
It would have been
South
fun to
Florida.
be at that Gatsby party. Dressed in
Found
1920s, that would have been the shit.
$40 billion to bail out a right-wing wannabe dictator in Argentina, and yet Donald Trump can't find a dime.
Which, by the way, how long?
To extend the
What
Affordable
percentage
Care
did
Act tax
Joe
credit
Biden spend in his presidency
will
on
provide
vacation? What was it, like
nutritional
60%
assistance
or
to hungry
something?
children in America
sure it was a lot more
to
than Trump.
ensure that they can put food on the table. The American
Passed
people
out on
are
that
smart.
Delaware
they
beach.
see all of this happening in real time. And of course, what Republicans always do is try to distract the American people, as they've done
With facts
in New
and
Jersey
data and statistics.
Virginia, and it will not be successful. It's over for these people. And we're going to see it today, and we're going to see it during the midterm elections next November.
At this point, is a record-breaking shutdown a pattern of the Trump administration?
It was a 35-day.
Oh my God, dude, these fucking questions are so retarded, man. They're so fucking stupid. Are record government shutdowns like the norm for the Trump administration? Because, you know, like the 35-day shutdown happened in like 2019. So like, I mean, that's the stupidest fucking question she could have asked. Like, that's like the easiest fucking question ever. So they're just giving him just these dumbass questions where he could just keep, you know, just speaking bullshit on his fucking soapbox.
Trump administration. This is day 35 of the Trump Republican shutdown.
Yeah, you got to drive that home. The Trump Republican shutdown.
These people are.
It's 100%
deeply
Republican
unqualified.
shutdown. Republicans just will not open the
And
government.
they spent all of last year lying to the American people that they were going to lower the high cost of living, while at the same time distancing themselves from Project 2025. But they've spent all of this year doing nothing to lower the high cost
Yeah,
of
they
living.
failed
In
to
fact,
adequately
costs are
define
going
exactly what
up,
that is,
not
Project
down.
2025.
While they spend all
At
of
least
their
as far as
time,
I know. Maybe there is
Republicans
an
spend
actual
all of their
definition for it
time
out there. I don't know.
implementing the extreme, toxic Project 2025 agenda.
Extremely
Including,
toxic.
by the way, as part of Project 2025, ripping away nutritional benefits and SNAP from the American people. I think that's on page 300 or so of Project 2025. Shutting down the federal government, agency by agency by agency, part of Project.
Yeah, that sounds a little conspiratorial. Is there a 300-page
Gutting the
Project
healthcare
2025 report
of
where
the American
Republicans
people, as
strategize to
have
shut
done
down the government?
all throughout this year, part of Project 2025.
Look, maybe there is. I don't know.
And so the
I somehow doubt
dysfunction,
it.
The cruelty, the inability of Republicans to make life better for the American people is, of course, now on full display. And Republicans can't blame anyone other than themselves because they have complete control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
Yeah, I you know what? I think Trump's got my full support in the fucking filibuster. Bury these assholes. Let's just fucking do it, man.
You said in an interview that you did not.
Do I really think Republicans are going to do it? Fuck no, they're not going to do it. There's absolutely no way. And I bet Trump's absolutely right. I bet if the Democrats take over the House and the Senate, I mean, obviously it would only have to be the Senate that they would require to take over to end the filibuster, but I bet they're going to do that. I bet they will immediately. And we already know that they want to pack the Supreme Court. They've been pretty vocal about that, like in the last years.
That Zohran Mamdani was the future of the Democrat Party. I'm just wondering, do you believe that a Democrat Party embrace of socialism would hurt the party's chance next November? And will there be a Democrat pivot away from Mamdani and more towards the center following today's election?
What I made clear is that given the existential nature
Republicans,
of
Trump,
Donald
Trump.
his policies, his
He just
cruelty,
cannot go
his
one statement
failures,
without saying Trump, Trump, Trump.
the assault on the economy, the
Yours,
assault
man.
on health care, the assault
What does this have to do with socialism in the Democrat Party?
on
Asshole.
veterans, the assault on farmers, the assault on nutritional assistance, the assault
I
on
don't even think he's even hearing these questions, to be honest with you. I don't think he's hearing a fucking thing they're saying. He's probably got tiny little, $1,000 earbuds that you can't see, that he's probably just playing fucking music. He's probably just listening to just God knows what and just watching their fucking mouths moving, and he just goes on, just going on about whatever he wants to go on about.
law-abiding immigrant communities, the assault on the American way of life, the assault on
There go
voting
them
rights,
hands again.
the assault on the rule of law, and Donald Trump and Republican assault on democracy itself, that the most significant thing that can be done is for Democrats to take back control of the House of Representatives next year so we can end this national nightmare and begin the process of marching toward a more perfect union. That's why these elections are going to matter. The midterms will
You mean
matter.
a more perfect global
House
union?
Democrats will matter
The Great Reset,
in terms of getting this
2030.
situation turned around. And that's not pillow talk.
The
That's
15-minute
real talk.
cities. Everybody drives EVs. We all have to get stuck with solar panels.
Gottheimer are working on a bipartisan ACA plan, income caps, things like that. Is that something that you support or encourage at all?
I think the conversation that has been led by Tom Suozzi is being done in good faith and is all part of an effort to address the Republican health care crisis and to find a bipartisan path forward. But at the end of the day, it's been my view from the very beginning that traditional House Republicans aren't serious about doing anything meaningful, and they never have been. And so while I'm convinced that Tom Suozzi, of course, is a common sense leader, and hopefully the Republicans who are communicating with him will get serious this time.
All right. I can't fucking take it anymore. He's driving me fucking nuts. Maybe I'll do a part 2 on that. Maybe I'll pick back up on that tomorrow. I don't want to take the entire half hour to watch the entire thing. I mean, we're obviously getting nowhere with it. These are all like just pre-scripted fucking questions, the most softball-ass questions that you could possibly ask him, with him just standing up there just droning out on this bullshit about how, like, Republicans shut down, it's all Trump's fault. Like, ripping food out of kids' mouths, like, literally. He did use the word literally. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you take a quick second to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And check out The Swamp, which drops Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern, covering the daily happenings inside the federal machine. Thank you very much for watching.